Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is the Ball Metal Nerd coming at you with a super non-controversial video topic, as you can tell from the video title. Um, what do I mean by no one believes in an afterlife? Well, it depends on how you define the term belief, right? Um, I believe that at approximately 7 something a.m. tomorrow, we'll see the sunrise, and sometime we'll just say sometime between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. I haven't looked it up, but at some point the sun will rise between those hours tomorrow morning. Um, you know, and the day cycle will renew, and then later on in the PM, we will obviously have the opposite. We'll have sunset, and then we'll have the night cycle, and then the same thing will repeat. The next day, and 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 the next day. You could say, I believe in that one. I believe that 100%. Now, do I know that that will happen? No, I suppose not. Some extremely unlikely event could disrupt that cycle. I guess anything is possible. It's highly unlikely that that will not happen, but again, anything is possible. Something could disrupt that cycle, but it's incredibly unlikely. So that's how I would define belief. And so what I mean is by saying no one believes in an afterlife. Okay. What I mean by that is no one believes in an afterlife as strongly as I believe in, the day and night cycle on this planet. Why? Well, think about it. Your entire life, you have had direct experience of the day and night cycle, uh, you know, on Earth, right? Every single day of your entire life, that occurs. It's extremely predictable, and it happens with extreme regularity, right? It's not something that is difficult to believe happens when you witness it every single day. As far as the afterlife goes, you don't really believe it, because if you really believed in the afterlife, like if you believed that after you die, you go to heaven or paradise or whatever you want to call it, if you really believe that, like really believed it, like you believe in the day-night cycle, when somebody dies, you would not be completely filled with grief the way that you are. Think about your emotional state when somebody, shuffles off this mortal coil, who you care about, a loved one, right? Do you get happy? Are you like, I'm so glad that, so and so is gone. Like, that's great. No, what happens? You are extremely sad. You're diminished by your heart is diminished because of the loss. You feel grief. They're all of, for lack of a better term, these negative emotions dominating your psyche at the time, right? If you honestly believed, like really believed that these people were going to, quote, a better place, paradise, you wouldn't have those emotions. Because if one of my loved ones, okay, if I knew that they were, like, I believed, truly believed they were going to paradise, and I would eventually be reunited with that loved one in paradise, right? Like, after I died, right? I wouldn't be overwhelmed with grief and sadness to the degree I think that people are. I think I would be, yeah, I think you'd be somewhat sad for not seeing that person for a little while, but I don't think it would be to the degree that people are. right? I think the reason that we feel so much grief when somebody dies is I think deep down inside, we know that what we've been fed, at least that vision of the afterlife, is, well, how can I put it? Total bullshit, right? I think in a way we know that when you die, lights out, right? Or at least, now I don't know for a fact that that's what happens. Obviously, I've never died yet. Of course, one day I will, but it's yet to occur to me. You know, um, so I can't say I know for a fact that when you die, it's lights out, but um, there's no evidence to really suggest otherwise. Yes, I know some people are going to throw down, well, there have been documented ghost sightings and this, that, and the other, or near-death experiences. Those things can be explained with more rational explanations beyond uh, what they appear to be. Now, am I saying for a fact that I know that all that stuff is BS? No. I don't know, but I'm just going with what the likely evidence is. And this is more just me talking about what people believe in their heads and their hearts. Because if you really believed that there is that sort of paradise after death, you wouldn't feel the amount of grief that you feel when you lose a loved one. Also, I don't think people would fear death nearly as much as they do if people truly believed in this stuff. Like, I know a lot of, because I would say most people they're afraid of death because, let's face it, if somebody points a gun to your head and threatens your life and says, I'm going to kill you with the gun to your head, the amount of fear that you are going to feel is probably going to be unprecedented, more fear than you've ever felt in your life, right? For the most part. And that's a normal reaction. But if you truly believed that you'd be in paradise and all that, you guys get where I'm going with this. So this is just me throwing an idea out there, seeing what sticks. I'd really, of course, be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I know kind of all over the place on this, but that's pretty much it. If you like this, thumbs up. If you hate me, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Live long and prosper.